Since 2017, Druski has been making a lot of online comedy skits that have taken the country by storm. And most of his skits are relatable to most of us as Black Americans. And as time has gone on, he's built more of a loyal following, and that following isn't always Black. But to expand his audience, he's also been taking some risks here with his content. And of course, he did that by pretending to be a white guy. And of course, these skits went completely viral. And he even had some people who thought it was cool.
All right, I seen the Druski white boy skit, and I noticed that he looks familiar. Can't quite put my finger on it. I've seen that guy before.
But not everybody thought it was funny. Druski faced a series of backlash from the white community from basically doing what they consider to be called whiteface. Oh, this is a reverse racism, and how could he go out there and make fun of white people like this? And so people on social media started to chime in.
But boy, some of the people in the dominant society, boy, they're crying foul. They're like, oh, wait a minute. Isn't this reverse racism? Hey, why are you mocking us? Oh, they're crying foul now. Now, these people who were cockeyed and kikiing when Druski was kind of mocking Black people, they were fine with that. Now that he went in on some rednecks and had the makeup and the aesthetics looking like them, and everybody's laughing at the rednecks now. Oh, they want to cry foul. They're not laughing now.
Now, Tariq Nasheed makes a very interesting point. When he's making fun of Black people, them same white people don't have much to say about it. But people have a problem with it because he's now making fun of, let's say, poor white culture, or somebody could say country white culture, or the red N-word culture. People are upset with that. And this is interesting because the same thing could be said with the Charlie Kirk situation. Now, Charleston White was definitely viral for making fun of all the rappers, dissing dead rappers and their kids and all that. White people, according to Charleston White, and a lot of whites never complain about the disrespect that Charleston White gives the Black community. But now, once Charleston White started dissing Charlie Kirk, we heard a different tune.
When I'm fucking trolling about their dead babies and dead mammies, you don't say shit. So what do you mean why? I'm a fucking comedian. I get the with anybody. Satire comedy is what we call it. How you gonna take that away from me? So Charlie's no exemption. Don't you joke about fentanyl Floyd? He's no different than a fentanyl Floyd. Floyd was the Black Lives Matter movement. Kirk is a white ring consider movement. We get to joke about one another, remember?
You would think that Druski, basically getting so much criticism from the first white guy skit, he would stop, right? No, he's not stopping. He actually is gonna do it again. Because according to Twitter, Druski teases part 2 of his white Druski skit. And so when I was there, I was just checking out, some of the commentary of what people were saying and how they felt about it. This guy says these skits are getting repetitive. Maybe try something new that doesn't rely on stereotypes.
Woo!
Grok, why is it okay for a Black person to do whiteface, but not okay if a white person does blackface or do blackface? So Grok responded, and as you know, Grok is an AI. The difference stems from history. Blackface originated in 19th century minstrel shows that caricatured and oppressed Black people per sources like Wikipedia and Britannica. Whiteface, as in Druski skits, or white chicks, lacks the legacy of systemic racism and is often viewed as satire without the same harm. Some see it as a double standard, while others point to power dynamics.
Woo!
Jay Shadow says he gonna get people mad again. Praying hands. This other person says, Druski just dropped another hilarious skit about folks who are way too proud to be American. And again, these skits are usually harmless, but there's one problem.
As a mixed woman who is white but who also has a Black parent, I want to be very specific to tell you once again, whiteface isn't even a thing. Blackface is. It was white people making fun of Black people, which was in fact racist, and none of that has been done to white people. only part in this whole skit that obviously should have made anybody uncomfortable was how he portrayed acting towards this young black man. Literally spitting at him out the window and saying, "You better find something safe to do, boy." That part, it's not Druski dressed up as a white man that should make you uncomfortable. It is the perception of what people deal with on a daily basis.
Now, the lady is basically summing up something that we pretty much went over, and she's a woman that is half white, half black. But she did mention something that happened within Druski's last skit. Now, Druski pulled up towards a guy, and you know, they were going to like the NASCAR thing, and here's the interaction.
Hey, you lost, boss?
No, I'm going to the race.
What race?
NASCAR race.
You going to NASCAR?
Yes, sir. A little bit.
So Druski pulls up to the guy like, you know, where you going? And he's like, I'm going to the NASCAR, sir. Oh, yeah? And then he starts to spit. But then here's the rest.
You ain't lost, is you?
No, I'm good. I'm going to the race, sir.
Sure about that?
Yes, sir.
Find something safe to do, boy.
So now he's telling the guy, find something safe to do, boy. Now the guy doesn't know that Druski is pretending to be a white guy, but really Druski is black. But now the guy who's at the NASCAR, he's saying, sir, yes, sir, no, sir, I'm just going here. Now, basically, what it's showing you is that if you're a black person in the environment of NASCAR, you may be docile. So if the guy is basically submitting to what Druski is doing, it shows that this culture of whites checking on blacks and disrespecting blacks, in some ways, it's still going on. Now, I'm from California, and I would never be in a NASCAR situation like that, and I've never been talked to in that frame by a white person. However, the way that that young man reacted, it does show that this does happen in certain communities towards blacks. And this is not something that Druski is making up. This is something that is true. And so now what happens is those people who go to these NASCAR events or some of these whites, they may not want that information to get out, that some of that racism is still there. It happens to be still there, and it's still existing very, very strongly. As much as we make fun of black people for, let's say, for example, not being efficient with their time, or let's say living in urban environments, or some may even use the word or term ghetto. Well, the reality is that every community has those people. And see, the white people try to hide theirs, okay? They don't want you to really know about some of the slums they have, or some of the people they have, some of the things that are not developing within their group. And so when you get a guy like Druski and you're imitating like the worst of the worst, it's a problem. I think that if Druski was imitating a white nerd that had a Harvard degree or something like that, a billionaire, it would be different. But he is basically, in my honest opinion, making fun of some of the people that white folks are not proud of, okay? And these are the guys who are typically in the country, typically in the South, vote Republican. White people typically, left or right, don't really like to deal with them at all. And so how dare you expose the real honest truth about how some of our people are, how we're living. And we're sitting around talking about you blacks, but just right here in our community, we have some things that others could consider backwards. And now Druski is reminding us of how down bad some of our community is, and he's making fun of it, and we can't take it. All right. And again, whites are supposed to be infallible. But like I just said, if it's true, it's true. If it's not, don't worry about it. But the reason why they're mad is because a lot of the things that he's showing how they act, he's getting it based on them. It is true. And you can't blame black people for your failures when you're out there acting like that. You can blame black on black crime all you want. Ain't no black people for the most part at a damn NASCAR event. I would guess it's probably less than 10%. All right. So if people come out there and see y'all drunk and they see you down bad, they see you don't got your stuff popping, you can't blame nobody for that. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shady Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. I appreciate you for all you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.